Hello everybody, I wanted to make a video today talking about the most recent developments that have happened in regards to the situation regarding ICE in the United States. But more so I wanted to discuss the trends I see with opportunism. So I think a lot of other Marxists and Maoists in particular are doing a good job at covering this, whether it's through YouTube or a media article writing of some kind. So basically what I mean by opportunism is that certain groups such as, the Democratic Party, a capitalist party within the framework of the United States, Democratic Socialists of America, or certain revisionists for that matter too. Basically, they've taken it into their own hands to kind of make a spotlight on the whole situation regarding ICE right now. But this spotlight is not because they genuinely care about the situation of how disgusting the immigration's customs enforcement is. These groups are bringing this topic up for their own personal or party gains, for that matter. Okay, so what might those gains be, and why do I think we should watch out for them? First, let's talk about the Democratic Party of the United States. This party is a capitalist institution, and this party, with their last president, Barack Obama, deported, I think the number was a little bit over 1 million people that Barack Obama deported. And this was, of course, used by an instrument of the United States, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. Now, recently at the time of this video was the Democrats' debate for the 2020 presidential candidates. Now, during the debate, a lot of the political candidates used an abundance of identity politics, and we had this whole meme of Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker displaying their Spanish-speaking skills that nobody ever asked for. And as funny as it was, it wasn't for no reason. It was for an opportunity that both of those people had. Now, not just them, but every single one of those fucking clown-ass candidates, they're all opportunists at the end of the day. That's why they're bourgeoisie politicians. They're not over here speaking Spanish because they genuinely care about a Spanish-speaking population of people, but it's because they know that the contradictions that are arising right now with this Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, or ICE for short, they're reaching a boiling point. The only reason they have to go out in front of an audience and clownishly speak Spanish on live television is because I think they know that the contradictions within capitalism are becoming clear to the average, U.S. Proletarian. And so, as they would for a typical liberal, they need to subdue the masses, and they need to be the opioid to them, to restore their faith in a system that doesn't work for the mass of people within the United States. Now, during the debate, they did mention the problem with kids being locked in cages in these border concentration camps for, brown folks, basically. And these are, of course, all very real things that are going on right now. However, we have to view these horrific human rights violations through a materialist lens. This is not something that's just happened out of nowhere. This is years' work that imperialism has been building up to. Throughout the 20th century, when the United States continuously meddled and disrupted other countries, the main focus of this was to outsource cheap labor. Because what happens when a country has a revolution with a popular backing or elects a democratically elected leader is that the resources of the people living on that land become exclusive to the people living on that land. When a person gets deported and gets sent back to the country that they came from that has been destabilized and fucked up by the United States, they become an individual that's a part of a pool of labor exploitation and resource exploitation that can be used for profit in the United States. And they don't even have to be deported for that matter. They can be sent to these migrant concentration camps that are propping up, which can be used for potential slave labor. Okay, so what does the Democratic Party have to do with all this? And why are they mentioning the idea of abolishing ICE, quote unquote? Well, you have to be either a fool or a full-fledged liberal to believe that the Democratic fucking Party of the United States wants to abolish ICE, when in the past they've clearly fucking used ICE to deport many people. So the idea that the Democrats will somehow abolish ICE when getting elected into office, no, that's not gonna fucking happen. Why in your right mind would you believe these spineless promises when clearly this institution has used this instrument of the state before? Now, there is all these, arguments that these liberals might try to make in regards to, oh, it's different this time. It's not gonna happen under these guys. But no, time and time again, we've seen politicians make these spineless promises, and conditions within capitalism stay the same, because capitalism is what you fucking got. There's no way to fix this system when it's working exactly the way that it's intended to work. Alright, now this brings me to the DSA group, or Democratic Socialists of America, who are these revisionists that think that they can be voted inside the capitalist system and achieve socialism with the approval from capitalists. And this is not only a ridiculous group, but just a ridiculous ideology. And what pisses me off about DSA so much is that they actively twist the word socialism to mean something that's completely opposite to what it actually means. They take away all revolutionary aspects of socialism. They actively contribute to Red Scare propaganda and defame previously existing socialist nations. And DSA actually defames and works against existing revolutionary groups. And another thing that happened around the time of making this video is in Austin, Texas, the DSA group there held a socialist night, quote unquote, right? I guess they were holding an event where they were commemorating the Stonewall militants, because it is June and it is Pride Month. But while they were holding this event, the Stonewall Militant Front and the Popular Women's Movement in Texas, both revolutionary groups, came and disrupted the DSA congregation. And what DSA did, instead of engaging in a debate, which that was an appropriate time to engage in a debate, is they ended up calling the fucking cops on revolutionaries. And the cops came and protected DSA against these revolutionaries. Now, us Maoists know that this is typical behavior of social democrats, democratic socialists, what have you, which is why the Stonewall Militant Front and Popular Women's Movement disrupted this congregation to begin with. And it was revealed that what they were protesting was the fact that there was a police union organizer within the DSA group, as well as the Austin, Texas DSA harboring rapists in their group. Furthermore, actions like this are not an isolated event to the Austin, Texas DSA chapter. In Los Angeles, California, the DSA chapter has also harbored a rapist, which isolated most of the women membership. Now, okay, what does this all have to do with the original topic, which is the opportunist trend that is seen throughout different ideologies and groups that are taking lights on the ICE situation? Well, to put it this way, DSA is not for the liberation of the people. Their strategy is fucked to begin with. They want to vote themselves into capitalist bourgeoisie positions, and somehow that will achieve socialism and somehow that will stop these ICE concentration camps and abolish ICE. We as Maoists know that that is not true. If you work within a capitalist institution, you are going to carry out the work that the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie asks you to do. It is impossible to separate this. So DSA, working within the establishment, is not at all revolutionary. DSA is counter-revolutionary, and they have shown through their actions, they have shown this more than just electing people in bourgeoisie political positions, but actively working with counter-revolutionaries against revolutionaries. Why should we believe a word out of DSA's mouth when they conduct in counter-revolutionary activities? The same thing goes for revisionists. I'm talking about Trotskyists, leftcoms. I mean, I haven't even seen any word out of fucking Trotskyists or leftcoms' mouths in regards to this ICE situation, which they should be speaking up on it, but they're revisionists, so I wouldn't expect them to do that, because there's an abundance of Trotskyists that turn out to be sexual assaulters or rapists. These are people who are not to be trusted. These are people who will dehumanize you, just as DSA and the capitalists dehumanize other people. These people should be regarded as social fascists. Nothing more, nothing less. I appreciate you as the viewer for taking a look at my first video. I'll try to come out with more content as quickly and as timely as I can, but for now, I'll be figuring out the works of this channel and working on more content to share with everybody. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for upcoming content. Thanks.